Hello, Mr. Neil here from Star International School Mirdif. Just putting a few tips here for the distance learning that's due to start next week, Sunday the 22nd of March. We just thought it'd be helpful to just give a little bit of support, a bit of ideas, a few tips for parents at home, and also for students who are watching, eagerly awaiting the start of the distance learning. First of all, big thank you to all the parents and students so far in the sort of run-up. Appreciate this is a difficult time for many, especially our working parents, but as the KHDA say, we're in this together, so I'm really confident, we're very confident as a school that we're going to put on a fantastic distance learning programme for students over the coming weeks. Our staff have been working really hard. We started the preparations a number of weeks ago for this potential eventuality, and they're going to be putting across some plans and a lot of fantastic resources in the coming weeks as of Sunday. First thing to note is that we're open as usual, business as usual. So from the 22nd, Sunday the 22nd, the school is open. So if you need to call reception or you need to drop an email in, there'll be someone there to pick up that call and sort of offer support as we go through. So these are the 8 tips that we've come up with for distance learning for parents. The first one, the most important one, is structure your day. We believe that it's what students really need to do is they need to have as much structure as possible. We're going to send out a suggested structure for the day on Wednesday to parents, just to sort of help you prep. But you really want to try and keep to your standard structure. So get up in the morning in a normal time you would for school. Start the day at 8. We're going to be open for registrations. We'll be asking students to register at 8. Through an online Google form, and parents, if the students are a little bit longer, to help them with that. We appreciate there's difficulties with that, with working parents, etc. So there needs to be some flexibility, but generally speaking, especially the older students, they need to be set a structure. The day starts at 8, ends at 4, and there should be enough content, enough activities, etc., and lessons for them to do from the start and end of the day. So structure that day. The second one is really to structure a place at home, in the house, a public place for them to work in. Ideally it'd be a desk. Desks are very useful if they're a clear space that's away. The bedroom's not always the best place for students to be working, especially if they're using digital technologies, and I'll come to that in a second. But the dining table is also a fantastic place for them to be working. It's public, plenty of space around them, and they've got access to everything they need. The third thing is try and provide a suitable device. For our year 6 to 8 students, obviously you've got the Chromebooks. That's what they should be using. We've also loaned out some of our school Chromebooks for the year 5s to support parents. Other year groups from sort of EYFS up to year 4, you're looking at potentially using an iPad or a laptop or something else that's available around the home. So have a think about what that device is, and if you need support with that, just let us know. The fourth thing is really comes down to sort of e-safety and safeguarding. When it comes to digital technology and accessing online learning resources, what you've got to remember is students, they're on the internet, they need adult supervision. My suggestion is, as a result, is make sure they're doing this in a public place, and where possible, and we know it's challenging, make sure there's an adult around or someone who could check in on them to make sure that they're accessing appropriate things on their device. It's really just to support them, just to make sure there's an adult in the room or around when they're accessing this technology for extended periods of time. The fifth one, the controversial one, the one that students possibly won't be as happy about, is if they have one of these, confiscate it or take it away from them. They don't need it during the e-learning if they've got a suitable device like a Chromebook. There's studies to show that even a switched off device in the room causes distraction to students and to adults even. They don't need it at school, they don't use it at school, so they don't need to use it during the distance learning either. And all of our teachers have asked for students to access a mobile phone as part of the e-learning, so my suggestion is it stays away from them during the period of 8 till 4 where they should be doing their distance learning. So keep those mobile phones away. 6, and very important during these trying times. I know that's become more difficult in recent days, but try and stay active. So students need to try and stay active. What our teachers have done our PE team have put together some videos with some of the students in the past few weeks, but also they're going to be putting on some things. They're going to be pushing out ideas around the home and within the garden, etc., as to what they could be doing to stay healthy and stay active, tips on healthy eating, etc. So we'll be pushing that out over the coming weeks to sort of help them stay as active as possible, because that's an important part of their daily routine. Number 7, take an interest. Take an interest in what they're doing and what they've been learning about in the day. Ask them questions, constructive questions like, just what have you learned today? Maybe ask them something specific about what they've learned. If they're doing something about, something about Shakespeare, etc., ask them a little bit about a particular part of that Shakespeare play that they're doing. If you have any knowledge or interest in something that they're studying. Appreciate that's very difficult sometimes for some parents in terms of having time, especially for working parents, but just to show an active interest in what they're doing is really important. Stay positive about the distance learning. It is something that's different, but it can be a really positive and rewarding experience for everyone. I think that's one of the most interesting things that's going to come out the coming weeks is, how do students react to that? How do we, as schools, adapt? And actually it's quite exciting in many ways. And as a school, we're quite excited about how we're going to provision for this and put things together. And the final one, number 8, is ask for help. The school is open, as I say. If you want to email reception at starmeredith.com, or drop them a call if there's something that you need help with on a technical level, or there's some support you need. We're also going to be opening up channels of communication with teachers, a bit more direct than we've done in the past, via Seesaw and also Google Classroom. And there'll be a point in the day where teachers will be looking at their platforms specifically for questions and answers from both students and from parents. So there is going to be a degree of availability for all teachers and all SLT for parents and for students over the coming weeks. And look, the next few weeks are going to be interesting. We're going to have to take things as they come. I'm actually, on a personal level, very, very excited about what we've put together. We've got some great innovative ideas that we're going to be using over the coming weeks, and it should be an enjoyable experience for all. The phrase that we're talking about, the sort of the campaign that we're using is #LogInAndLearn. So have a think about that. Think about each day how we're going to support students with that structure. Have a think about those 8 tips. If you've got any questions or anything you want to comment on, just drop us a call, drop us an email, and we'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you.